of words that you must know in this country to get by, and we should make sure that's important. Again, to the main question, certainly let's offer bonuses to people that speak the languages. Let's make sure we have a diversity of employment. And I would ask you that, if you came to the city of San Jose and you walk down the cubicles, you would see we have a diverse workforce.
Thank you. Councilman Ricardo.
Well, Councilmember Olerio characterized it as a value add to have a language skill. But I think in a city as diverse as ours, it's a necessity. And we have only 50 certified Vietnamese speakers in all City Hall today. That's a problem in a city with 100,000 people, thousands of whom are monolingual, who might rely on a Vietnamese speaker to be able to interact with City Hall. I think the way that you encourage more hiring is to lead by example. In my district, where we have a very diverse set of neighborhoods, I've made it a practice to ensure we have language capacity on our very small staff. I've hired 4 Vietnamese Americans over the 7 years in which I've been in office, including a former chief of staff. But I think in terms of reaching out to the community, creating task forces and commissions is nice to look in on the city, but it's better to have those task forces reaching out into the community, identifying qualified applicants who can serve as emergency responders or police officers and help us identify those young men and women who can best serve the city, who can add a Vietnamese or Spanish language skill or other language that will help us better serve our community. I've committed to improve our language skills citywide. I, in fact, came out with a public safety plan a few weeks ago, which I committed that what we should be doing is encouraging every recruit in the police department to be taking a foreign language class paid by the city to ensure we have functional fluency.
Thank you. Any rebuttals?
I just want to say when it came to employment decisions that I controlled in my office happens to be all female, and I have a member of Filipino ancestry who speaks the native language, Latino that speaks Spanish, and Vietnamese that speaks the Vietnamese language. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Cortese.
I just want to say, kind of a friendly rebuttal, that it's very important to appoint people to key positions in the government, not just employees. And I was very proud to appoint Dang Pham as the first Vietnamese planning commissioner in the history of the city of San Jose. It's important to have Vietnamese Americans at the table helping us make key policy decisions, including land use in this city, which is the majority of actions that are taken. I also want to acknowledge Tevu Nguyen, who's been with me for 11 years on my staff and has done great work in the community. Thank you, Tevu.
This next question comes from a number of our volunteer groups. There is a controversy currently brewing in Irvine, California regarding the creation of a sister city relationship with Nha Trang. Should the city of San Jose establish sister cities or friendship cities with cities in Vietnam? As mayor, what type of role do you envision San Jose playing, if any, in developing relationships with international cities in places like Vietnam? And it is Councilwoman Herrera.
Well, first of all, I think having cultural ties and economic development relationships with other cities across the world is important. That said, though, I think the focus needs to be more on, in terms of the city's participation in the economic development role. We have some very productive sister city relationships, one with Dublin, Ireland, and recently we are establishing one with Mexico. And I think Vietnam is certainly another country that we need to work to do that. And these relationships need to benefit both the country we're reaching out to as well as San Jose. It needs to have those kind of mutual benefits to help that country economically as well as to help San Jose. And of course the cultural relationships should be strengthened anyway. I'm saying if the city is going to put some revenue into it, it needs to have some economic development payback to the city as well.
Thank you. Supervisor Cortese.
Yeah, I don't think we should be establishing any further diplomatic relations or economic ties with communist Vietnam. I think the city of San Jose should take the lead in calling for a national boycott of Vietnam, like we did to South Africa when I was as old as some of these young people here. People did not buy or spend in the direction of an oppressive government. When monks and priests are being imprisoned on a day-to-day basis because they can't exercise freedom of religion, when we have basic freedom of speech being quashed in a country. It's not the time to be establishing sister city relationships, diplomatic relationships. In fact, I think we need to do just the opposite, as I said, a boycott, and the city of San Jose should be precluded from spending any money on entertainment or receptions for communist visitors here from that country. It's not just a matter of the form of government, it's a matter of what they're doing today. They're oppressing people, they refuse to come to the table. I have supported every congressional resolution aimed at trying to curb those human rights violations there. I have convened with many of you, we have stood our ground. We've got to continue standing our ground, and the last thing we want to do is send a message that that kind of oppression and human rights violations is okay. It's not okay. So thank you very much.
Councilman Oliverio.
Thank you. As I mentioned earlier, the city of San Jose has a very specific and narrow set of goals. It provides law enforcement, it provides a sewer system, it provides a road transportation network, libraries, etc. We are not the United Nations. We are not the State Department. We are not the U.S. Senate. Although I may agree with the sentiments expressed, that is not my role as a city. That lobbying takes effect to our local Congress members. That lobbying takes effect to our senators, but not at the city. I want to have a laser focus on things that have the best local impact to San Jose residents, and those are the basic services we provide. When it comes to sister city relationships, I'm not the biggest fan. Again, I don't think it's the core competency of the city. I've never traveled internationally on the taxpayer dime to go to those junkets. I think in the end, we're really mostly focused on the cultural ties we have today. Again, we are a city with people that come from all over the world. Those residents have ties to all those countries. Those ties, the personal ties, those are the ties that make a difference. Those are the ties that bind us as this beautiful city that we are. And I think sister city relationships overall, it's a lower priority for me than basic city services.
Thank you, Councilman Oliverio. Councilman Liccardo.
I actually think both Supervisor Cortese and Councilmember Oliverio are right. Fundamentally, sister city relationships serve our community first and foremost. And it seems to me we should not have any relationship of any kind with any city in communist Vietnam, where clearly our own community perceives it as being a betrayal of our commitment to freedom and human rights and all that we hold dear. And so it seems to me we should not be having those relationships. We should not be welcoming dignitaries from that country to this city. We've got a community that has fought, many members of our community have fought valiantly and courageously in defense of freedom. We need to honor that. And frankly, I don't think it's San Jose's job to be out there somehow building bridges in places where clearly our community would rather not. We've got a lot of work to do right here at home. Let's start by making our streets safer, getting more affordable housing, and helping support our schools.
Thank you. Councilwoman Nguyen.
Thank you very much for the question, Vicki. I would not establish any kind of partnership or sister relationship with Vietnam. I came here as a refugee. And I've been taught every single day why we had to leave Vietnam. Because we came here as refugees. There is a large refugee community here in the city of San Jose. I think my parents would disown me if I actually wanted to talk about going to Vietnam and doing anything in Vietnam. And here's the thing. I actually have a position paper that has been printed in the newspaper for many weeks now that if I'm elected mayor, I will not welcome any dignitary from Vietnam to San Jose, nor I will hold any kind of meetings with dignitaries from Vietnam. We have a wound. We all have a wound that has not been healed. And I am not in a position to open those wounds, not for myself, not for my family, or not for the Vietnamese American community here in San Jose. So you would not see any dignitaries in San Jose if I'm mayor, and we do not welcome any dignitaries from Vietnam, communist Vietnam, to the city of San Jose.
Councilwoman Herrera would like a rebuttal, 30 seconds.
I want to rebut myself. So first of all, I want to state again that sister city relationships, we have them with some cities that I don't think that it's appropriate for the city to spend money on those unless there's some economic development ties. I certainly am not in support of developing a relationship with communist Vietnam. I served in the Air Force fighting against that, so I apologize for my faux pas in the answer to that question initially.
Thank you for that clarification, Councilwoman Herrera. We're going to go with 3 words here. If elected, give me 3 words to best define what your service and leadership as mayor will be. This will not take 90 seconds. It is 3 words. And we are starting with Supervisor Cortese, I believe.
Working together again.
Thank you. Councilman Oliverio.
Consistency, transparency, hardworking. 2 words, hyphenated.
Councilman Legardo. If you just hyphenated, maybe.
Safer, stronger, smarter.
Councilwoman Nguyen.
City of opportunity.
And Councilwoman Herrera.
More middle-class jobs.
Okay, middle class, 1 word? All right, well, we are going to now open it to our candidates to give you 90 seconds of their closing statements and leave you with a final thought as you head out of this debate to think about who you may be casting a ballot for when that June 3rd primary comes. We will go ahead and start with Councilman Oliverio.
Hello, happy Palm Sunday. In my faith, this is the Lenten season prior to celebrating Easter. And these are the palms I received from church yesterday since the debate was scheduled on Sunday. And I wanted to offer a palm to each of my colleagues that are running for mayor as a sign of peace. As we all have the best intentions for this city, and you hear 5 passionate voices that want to do good things, and I trust you, any of the 5 would do good things. With that said though, I'm hoping you'll select me for the reasons that I have been the most consistent council member on the city council. I have found as being an elected official, oftentimes you have conversations with one group and then another. And sometimes it's tempting to tell one group one thing and another group another thing. My preference has always been to tell the same group the same thing no matter what. And sometimes it doesn't make people happy because you don't cater to what they specifically want. But on the other side, it enables me to sleep at night. And what you want me to do is be able to sleep comfortably so I can work hard for you. I have been a pleasure to be elected 3 times to the City Council. I've also been elected to serve on the Santa Clara County Democratic Central Committee twice by thousands of San Jose residents. Even though I'm a registered Democrat, I'm very strongly supported by independents and Republicans because they know that I look at both sides, try to make an impartial analysis, and come up with the best decision that will treat the city for the best in the long term. I'm proud that over 75% of the contributions that come to my campaign are from San Jose residents, and I ask you to pick up a card on the way out, which has my website on it. Thank you.
Councilman Legardo.
Thank you. Again, I want to thank everyone for coming out and all the volunteer organizations that work so hard to make this important dialogue happen. I am so grateful to have been in the position to serve this city for 7 years. And I'm asking you for the privilege of serving for another 8 years as your mayor. I'm privileged to be the only candidate on this stage to be endorsed by 3 former mayors, 3 people who have led this city before. Mayor Susan Hammer, Mayor Tom McHenry, and Mayor Ron James. And they recognize what many who have supported me recognize, that I am the candidate who has led. We can all talk about what we'd like to do, what we plan to do, but time and time again, when we've required an innovative solution in times of great budgetary scarcity, I have led. I've led an effort to help bring BART here to San Jose, now under construction. I have led efforts to expand affordable housing in this city. I have led efforts to find and identify the funding that would bring more police out to the street, to make our city safer without spending a lot of money. Things like, for instance, enabling shop owners and homeowners to be able to register video cameras with the police department to help us identify suspects when we know that there are crimes in our neighborhoods. We need leadership that's innovative. We need leadership that reaches out to the community. I've made a specific written pledge to the Vietnamese American community yesterday, outlining exactly what I commit to do as mayor. That's in writing because you need a pledge that you'll recognize, that I'll recognize, and we'll keep each other accountable. Thank you.
Councilwoman Nguyen.
I just wanted to clarify because I think there was some buzzing in the audience about a statement I made earlier, and that was, I went to Vietnam in 2011, but it's a personal trip. My father-in-law had a stroke, and he was paralyzed, and that was the reason why I went. Paid out of all my money, out of my own pocket, go there as a dutiful daughter-in-law to visit him because my mother-in-law said that he might not live. So that was the only reason why I went back there. It was for a personal visit. I came here on I left Vietnam on a small fishing boat with my family. We worked really, really hard trying to make our ends meet, just like a lot of hardworking families here in San Jose, not just Vietnamese Americans, but a lot of immigrants' families. I grew up working in the fields with my parents to make ends meet. And I had everything was going for me, and I was a happy kid. I was really happy even though we were very poor and we were struggling. Why? Because I had a community center that I went to. I had a library that I can go to on the weekends. I had a park that I can play with. And that's the same amenities that I want for every child, every family here in San Jose. I'm sure all these individuals up here will be great mayors because they all care about San Jose just as much as I do. But the question before you is, what kind of San Jose do you want? The San Jose that I want for my daughter and for every child, every family here in San Jose is a city of opportunity where a mayor can actually provide and improve your quality of life. I know I can't do everything for you, but what I can do is just make your life a little bit better, whatever that may be. And so you have that choice before you today and on June 3rd. Is vote for the person who's going to create that opportunity for you and your family. Thank you very much.
Councilwoman Herrera.
First of all, thank you. Thank you for being such a good audience. You have a really important choice to make, obviously, on June 3rd. And it's where this city is going to go in the 21st century. Where is this next leader going to take you? I can tell you right now where I want to take us is to a city that's a lot more economically prosperous, with more jobs, with more companies, with more opportunities for small businesses to grow. And we need to do that. I'm proud that I've supported pension reform and fiscal responsibility. I did that and in fact faced a lot of opposition in 2012 when I had to run for re-election because I took a principled stand. I will always do that. I will do the right thing. I've gotten a lot done along with the help for the community in Evergreen over the past several years. We saved a skate park. We prevented muni water from being privatized. We have a new library coming in District 8. We've helped get road improvements and the light rail that will move forward. Lots of things. So I am a leader that has ideas and I get things done. And I'll do the same thing as mayor. I don't make promises I can't keep. And I tell you that we will work hard and we will increase our economic prosperity in San Jose. That's what we need to do. We need to actually increase the tax base. We have to grow the pie. That's what's going to turn this situation around so that we are not fighting over the scraps with how to pay for services. We need to actually increase it. We only have 0.85 jobs per employed resident in San Jose, where cities to the north of us have over 1-to-1 or 1.5. We need to increase that. It's absolutely vital. Support me and let's grow San Jose into a prosperous city.
Thank you. And finally, Supervisor Cortese.
I have to ask Councilmember Oliveri if I still need to go to church tonight. Thank you, all of you, for being here. I'm here because I care very deeply about this city. And you've trusted me for 21 years as an elected official. You trusted me by electing me to the Eastside High School District Board of Trustees. And one of the first things that I did there was bring forward an initiative to create Vietnamese language classes as part of the curriculum in Eastside Union. I think the first district that ever did that. That's been so successful that the school district is now selling those textbooks to Orange County so that other school districts can use them. We hired Nguyen Dinh as a full-time Vietnamese coordinator to inform Vietnamese parents how to get their kids to succeed in our school district. As a member of the city, at the City Council for 8 years, we worked very closely together. That's why my 3 words were working together again. I'm looking forward to working together again with you on these city issues that we've been talking about today. We had great success, but you trusted me there. Lee Tong trusted me. when he ended the hunger strike. The people who wanted the yellow flag resolution trusted me to get that done. Those who wanted the signs put up in Little Saigon trusted me to get that done. As a member of the Board of Supervisors, you showed tremendous trust by giving up a lot of information to the County of Santa Clara, your families, your communities, so that we could do a proper health assessment. If you didn't trust us in that process, it wouldn't have happened. Please trust me as your next mayor of Santa Clara.
We are about to conclude the program today. Just a few reminders for all of you. There will be voter registration tables in the front for you if you are not registered to vote. If you have question cards, please make sure that you drop those off. We will be getting those to the candidates for their responses for questions that may have come up today or questions that you wanted to ask that they did not address. Also, if you have a translation device, please don't forget to drop that off at the front. The primary, once again, is June 3rd. And I think it's really important to remind all of us here that Vietnamese community, San Jose community, we have to ask more than what these public servants can do for us. We also need to talk about what we can do for our own community. And that starts with involvement, it starts with paying attention, and it starts with voting. So if you could join me in giving one more round of applause to the candidates who shared their time with us today, and thank you all.
And thank you, Vicki.
Phải trái cái này để ra đâu? Rồi, phải trái cái này. Thầy là people đặt câu hỏi với directory to the candidate.